Hi, everyone. I want to thank the Lord today for giving me opportunity to talk with you about a subject on called identity crisis. Father God, in the name of Jesus, I thank you right now for giving me this moment, this opportunity to share with someone who is facing an identity crisis. Many of us have gone through some trials and tribulation in our life, and we're trying to find our way through this world. And Lord, I pray that you open their minds, heart, body, and soul to understanding that they are valued in every sense of the word and that you love them. And their identity can be found in you and in your word in Jesus' name. I thank you, Father God. I pray that this message today will bless someone and will bring them back from the hurt that they have received and also help them find who they are in you and who they are supposed to be. In Jesus' name, amen. Identity crisis. On any given day, there is a young man who has killed someone because of an identity crisis. He feels he is not loved. For example, there are some young boys who needs a young man to teach him how to be a young man. And as we find that, supposed to be a simple task, but it's not. There are young boys who needs an older man to teach them how to be a man. And we find that is a hard task for these young men to find someone to teach them. And in return, there's also an older man who needs a father to teach him how to be a father to his children. That father's not there. All of these males are faced with identity crisis, not knowing who they are, not knowing where they're going to go, not being able to look up to someone to teach them how to be the man that he's supposed to be. They don't have someone in front of them to show them the next side of life that they want to endure. So they are just, for lack of a better word, flying by the seat of their pants, just getting by, and there's no one there to catch them with it when they fall. So an identity crisis for any person is devastating, but an identity crisis for a young man in this day and age is very difficult because he takes his lack of knowing who he is out on society. He takes the lack of knowing where he should go on people that are around him that try to love on him and try to build him. But because he does not accept the fact of who he is or who he should be, because there's no one there to teach him, he loses a lot. And we as society loses as well. And right now we are facing a great loss, a great loss. Our young men, and I say our because it doesn't matter the race, it doesn't matter where they came from. They are our young men, and we're losing them every single day. Our future fathers and sons and nephews and uncles and dads, we're losing them because they're going through an identity crisis. Let me tell you a short story. There was a young man who just graduated from college and was at a moment in his life where he was enjoying life. He graduated college. He's enjoying life with his family. He's out on the town with his friends and having so much fun. He's thanking the Lord that, hey, I finally did it. Everybody's congratulating him and is so excited for him that he has made it to the next step in his life. He's done something in his family that no one else in his family was able to do. He completed college. He's the first in his family to do so. So that gave him a spirit of pride. It made his dad and his mom just glow to see that their son has completed college. And he's becoming a young man that they prayed for him to be, and a young man that he was raised to be. That's a wonderful thing. Just think about it. That's a wonderful thing. But that night when he was out with his friends and partying and having fun and thanking everybody, and he's being congratulated, his mom gave him a car, you know, that's beautiful. Gave him some money in his pocket. Wow, he was on top of the world. Beautiful thing. But that young man who was 18 years old, who just graduated college at the top of his life and getting started to the next level of his life, was gunned down by someone who wanted his car, who wanted his money, who wanted to live his life because he did not have that opportunity to live the life that this young man lived. So I'm going to take it from him because I want it. He did not see the value in that young man's life. He just saw the value in things. He did not even see the value in his own life as to say, I'm looking at this young man's life, and because he did it, I can do it. But yet and still, he took this young man's life. I'm going to call this young man who was the one that pursued the college degree guy, I'm going to call him the lost man. He is lost in this world of not knowing who he is. He feels he is not valued. No one really told him that he is loved. It is hard for him to figure out where should I go and what should I do, but all I know is I got to survive. And if it means take it from someone else, I will. He is lost. He is faced with an identity crisis. It's sad, but it happens every day. I believe that this young man, this lost man, in his life, there was someone there that dropped the ball. Someone did not tell him he was greater than what he is at that moment. Someone didn't tell him that he is strong and powerful and that he is loved and that he can become any and everything he put his mind to. No one told him that. Because if they did, he would strive for excellence. And even if he fell a few times, he would get up and try again. He was faced with identity crisis. Somebody must have told this young man that he was nothing. And that the only way to get something in his life is to take it. You take what you want. You don't work for what you want. And that's a sad indictment, but people do it every day. There are a lot of cases where young men are told to just take what you want. And that's sad. But this young man is walking through an identity crisis in life because someone dropped the ball. Let's think about that. He may have been hurting because when he was a child, somebody might have sexually abused him. Parents may have walked away from him. He may have been through some different trials and tribulations as a child, going from foster home to foster home or jail or what have you. You know, it could be a lot of things. It could just be self-esteem, which self-esteem in itself is just like saying you're all alone in this world by yourself. When a person have a low self-esteem about themselves, they could care less how everybody else feel because right now they're hurting and they want the world around them to hurt. It is sad that this young man did not have any self-worth, that he took the life of someone else. Identity crisis is something very strong. It may seem small to some people. Well, you'll get over it, you'll grow out of it. Oh, he'll be all right. That's not always so. Because he does not know how to be all right. No one has taught him how to be all right. How to deal with his pain and how to deal with, situation that come in his life. No one's there to teach him. He needs someone to tell him he is loved and his life is priceless. And then, and only then, would he value the life of someone else. Well, we are losing our young men to an identity crisis. We have to tell them who they are. They need fathers, they need brothers, they need mentors to tell them who they are. Me as a woman, I pour in as much love as I can into any young man that comes across my path and tell me you're valuable. I have a son too. I want him to know that he is loved just as well as I come across another young man. I want them to know that they're loved just as we tell our children. Let me tell you another story. It's a young man raised in a good home. He too went to college. He made something of himself. But one day he was outside running, just taking a morning jog like so many people do. Just running around the neighborhood, getting in his laps, enjoying the sun, enjoying the breeze or what have you. And for some reason or another, a police officer pulled up and stopped him in the mid of his running. He minding his own business. The officer asked the young man, where are you going and where are you coming from? The young man answered him and he said, well, I'm just taking my morning run, you know. The officer asked the young man, well, where is your ID? Do you have some identification on you? Do you live in this neighborhood? And you don't look like you live out here, so why are you out here? And the young man said, well, officer, I take a morning run all the time around this time, and sure, I have my ID. So he didn't, speak negative to the officer in any way, but he was curious as to why is this officer stopping me? I'm running like everybody else in the morning. Well, the young man pulled out his ID. The officer checked his ID. And the young man asked the officer, okay, so why are you checking my ID? He said, well, we had a lot of break-ins in this area. And we want to make sure that people that are in this area live in this area. That's kind of understandable in a certain sense. But this young man happened to be African American. So in his eyesight, it's like, wait a minute. So you asked me for my ID because I'm African American and there's a lot of break-ins in this area, but do you ask everybody else for their ID that's running around this neighborhood? The officer ran the young man's ID. He looked at his ID, his driver's license, also said that he was a medical doctor. The officer asked the young man, well, where do you live at? He said, I live like 2 miles up the road. I'm on my way home now. My address is on my ID. The officer said, okay, he checked everything out, everything checked out, and thank you. Now, this young man has worked all his life hard to become a doctor, to live in a good neighborhood, to live in a better home than what the police officer himself can afford. But yet and still, society looked at this young man as being less than, as being the N-word, as being not acceptable, that you don't live in this neighborhood, you shouldn't be out here. But one thing I can tell you, because this young man knew his identity, because this young man knew who he was, he did not let the actions of the police officer hinder him. He didn't get irate and indignant. Oh, it stuck in his craw. Oh, it made him upset. But he didn't show that. He said, I'm above that. I'm stronger than that. It doesn't matter what this police officer think of me. I know who I am. It doesn't matter what he feels about me. I know who I am and I know where I belong. It's things like that that would tear someone down. But this young man did not let him tear him down. He stood firm to his identity. He stood firm to what the police was trying to insinuate, that you don't belong here. Identity crisis. When you know who you are, you can deal with any situation. When you know who you are, you know where you belong, can no one tell you different. Identity crisis will cost lives, and so many are weak because of it. As a mother, I had a male child. I told him I love him no matter what. I wanted him to know that he was loved and he's greater than what he may see or what he may feel, because he's going to grow up in a world that will tug at his heart, that will pull him in directions that I would not be ready for. But I wanted him to know that you were loved and that you're a strong young man. And don't let no one tell you different. We are faced with so much nowadays, and we have to understand that identity crisis is serious. It's serious. On any given day on the news, we say these young men have now just recently gunned down children in schools. Some for mental illness because they need help. Others for mental anguish because they need help. And it's sad. It is so sad that we have to think about these things more often nowadays. But we have to pray for them. And we have to take our time and understand where this person is coming from. Sure, you may have not experienced it. Maybe you've had a father. Maybe you've had an uncle or a next door neighbor that poured into you, that was there for you, that took time out to talk with you, even go to the park with you. Some of you may have had someone, but there's a lot of young men that don't have anyone. And those are the ones we're losing. We're losing them very, very fast. And that's our future. That is our future. But identity crisis does not just end with the young men. We have young women that are going through identity crisis. And these young women are faced with these crises because there is no one to teach her. Those that are going through identity crisis as a young woman were told, and I know because I was told, use what you got to get what you want. And it's not to say that we all listened to that. We all heard it. And today, young women are not told in so many words to do that. Use what you have to get what you want, and that's sad. That's sad. Now we have young women are told by their mothers, by their aunties, or by their sisters, or by their best friend, girl, if you just lose some weight, you'll get somebody. If you just change that nose, you'll get somebody. If you add more to your chest because it's too small, you'll attract the right man. There was a young girl who was about 14 years old, still in development age. Her mom took her to a doctor. She told the doctor, well, I need her to get some breast implants and I want her to get a rhinoplasty because her nose is too big or it's too long. Or, I need you to fix that. And I want her to have more a size D cup breast instead of this A that she has, because that's not working for you, dear. You won't be able to get a good man, a good boyfriend. And as you get older, you want to enhance these things. You want to look the part so you can have someone that's going to take care of you. Now, in some people's world, that's okay. But reality is, you just told that young girl that she was not good enough. She was told that what the Lord has given you is not good enough. And you just told that young lady, that young 14-year-old girl, that whatever you may become will not be good enough. So we're going to improve on what you have now, because what I see right now is not going to work for you. Now that child is faced with an identity crisis because she don't know if she's going to ever be good enough for anybody. Because now I'm going to have to fix everything that God gave me, because you know what? What he gave me is not going to work on my behalf. So I need to critique it now. And that's sad. It is so sad. These young girls do need older girls to inspire them, to become gorgeous young ladies. They need their mothers to teach them how to be better mothers, how to be young women, how to carry themselves, and not to tear them down, not to tell them that you're not good enough and you're just getting started. Excuse me. A lack of direction. A lack of direction in the lives of our children, in the lives of our young men, and in the lives of our young women will throw them so fast and so far into the hands of someone else. It'll drive them, because they're facing an identity crisis, because society as a whole, and some people in society, mothers, fathers, aunties, have told these children they're not good enough or they're not loved. And these children are searching. They're searching by any means necessary, even if it comes to hurting someone to get what they want, or selling themselves out to get what they want. Identity crisis. We need to stop and think. We have too many young women that are out here on the corners of life and death. On the corner of life and death. Because she does not know who she is. Because she has sold herself out and sold her soul out to find herself. And that's a sad indictment. It's sad to see that we have so many young people leaving home at an early age, running away from home because they're searching. They're searching to find themselves, because at home, no one has told them who they were. Let's think about that. Identity crisis. When you have a person that of a young age that are seriously wanting to know what to do and how to do it and who to talk to, and there's no one there, so what do? We have our young men that are killing each other. Then we have our young men that are out here selling drugs. They're in gangs. So who are you going to identify himself with? Who do he turn to? Who will he turn to? Will he turn to that drug addict that say, hey, let me let you try some of this here, man. That's going to ease up your pain. You won't have to worry about nothing. You won't have to worry about that. You talk about that later. We'll face that later. Or will he turn to the drug dealer that tell him, man, look here. Anything you want, you can have it. Just sell this. You won't have to worry about no money. You won't have to worry about no car. You just sell this. So will he identify himself with that drug dealer because he has so much stuff to offer him? Will he identify with the man who is out here doing stuff that's off the wall that he has never thought would happen? But that young man said, you know what? I don't have anybody else. So why not? Why not become a part of the game? Because see, they accepted me. They told me that, hey man, I got your back. I'm your family. I just need you to do one thing to initiate you in. Go rob this store, or go rob that person, or go rob that home. And I'm going to initiate you in. You're a part of our family. We got each other back. That young man is faced with identity crisis. He doesn't know where to go. All he knows is he is seeking for someone to accept him and to love him and to show him that part of that part of the world that he has not have never seen. His mom is not there, his dad is not there, his family is not there. Somebody has dropped the ball, and this young man is searching. He is the lost man. He is the lost man, the one we read about every day, the one we see on the news every day, the one society said that he was nothing. He didn't start out like that. He did not start out being nothing. He started out as being mama's baby and daddy's little boy. That's my boy. But as he got older, somebody said he was nobody's boy. Identity crisis. It is so easy to stamp that on our men's head because we turn our back on them. And then we wonder why they're doing the things they do. Because we dropped the ball on all of them. And I can't blame the entire world because they got parents that are doing everything they're supposed to do for their children. And still yet and still this child is still searching to find who he is. And he may take these wrong avenues. And I can't say it's the parents' fault. Each individual do need to find out who they are. And I would trust they would try to find out the right way. But we have a lot of young people that people have dropped the ball on. And then we quick to say, well, hey, it's not my fault. You know what? It takes a village to raise a kid. It takes a village. Because what mom and dad cannot pour into that young man, there's a mentor that can. There's a deacon. There's a pastor. There's a teacher. There's a coach. There's a principal. There's somebody that can pour into that young man and build him. And our young women, our burden carriers, our nesting carriers, our mothers to be, somebody has dropped the ball on some of them. Who does she identify with? If nobody's there to teach her how to be a young woman, a jewel, that hidden pearl that society easy snatches up and rip apart. And it's sad. She needs to know who she is. Sure, society tells her, hey, you're beautiful, but hey, let's add this to you, and here's some makeup, and here's some high heel shoes, and you can dress this type of way, and you can attract whoever you want. But he never told about attracting a person to her mind, build her soul. That outer shell that you are revealing to the world is not all what it's supposed to be. It is not going to carry you to the place that you want to be in life. Because someone told you that, hey, if you show your body, you'll get places. You'll go some places. You'll get a lot of money. If you reveal your body, or it's not going to cost much. It's going to be totally free. You're going to get paid for showing your body. So she strips. She sells herself. She sells out herself because someone did not tell her that she was priceless. She is priceless. Think about that. Your body is priceless. You cannot put a value on your body. I don't care how many dollars they say you can make. You're priceless. There is no other being besides this female that can bring a baby into this world and nurture it like a mother could. You're priceless. You are priceless. And I'm going to keep saying it until it registers. You do not have to sell out yourself. You do not have to go and do certain things to get what you want because someone say, hey, girl, please, just get what you got to get and pay your bills. You're going to be all right. You just sold yourself out. It's not about paying your bills all the time. Sure, you need a roof over your head, yes. But you also need peace in your soul. Because when you lay down your head at night, you want to know that what I did today, I'm still at peace at what I did today. Identity crisis. She does so much to be accepted in this world that is not willing to accept her in the right manner. She is searching for love in every place because daddy wasn't there to tell her she was gorgeous, she was beautiful. She's daddy's little girl and I love you. And this is how a man's supposed to treat you. But yet and still what she did see, she saw the man beat up her mom. She saw her mom go from man to man, or her siblings go from man to man, just to get what they want. She was told a piece of man is better than no man. And it's sad. So this young lady was set up for failure. She was set up to know that the only part of your life is valuable is your body. And this is why we have so many children that run away. We have so many children that are sold into slavery and into trafficking, human trafficking. And then we have so many young women that have left home and end up with the wrong person. This man says, well, hey, girl, I can give you what you want. It won't cost you a thing, but sometime the little time that you spent with this guy, he gonna pimp you out to somebody else to spend some time with, and now your whole world is turned upside down because she was searching for love in all the wrong places. And it's not her fault. Somebody dropped the ball on her life. Somebody did not tell her she was valuable and that she was priceless. Identity crisis. It's an issue that we face and we read about it every day. But we don't understand that that's what it is. All we see is the surface of everything that's going on. All we see is the reaction of what happened after the fact. All we see is what we read about in the news. Who was gunned down? Who was arrested? Who's out here selling drugs? We see the reactions of everything, but the underlying current is identity crisis. So how do we help them? We teach them. We strengthen them. We show them who they could be. We meet them where they're at and pull them away from where they're going and get them in a direction of what is called greatness. We find out their talents. We pull out their talents. We encourage them that they have a talent that God has given them and they need to utilize it. That young man that's selling drugs is an entrepreneur. But if you take that entrepreneur skill that he used to sell drugs and teach him how to put that in the marketplace and teach him how to open up his own business, oh, he'll make it big now. Because he already got the mindset of making money. He know how to calculate. He know how to dictate. He know how to supervise. He know how to make people be accountable. But the only problem is he's doing it the wrong way. He's selling the drugs. There's a lot of things that he could do until somebody tell him that he has greatness locked up inside of him. He just chose the wrong avenue and pulled him back. Hey, it's a wonderful life he just changed. And then we have our young women. She's decked out, she's glamorous, she's looking fine, she's hair all to the nine, her dress to the nine. She knows how to carry herself, but her display is for the wrong avenue. Her walk, her talk is for the wrong avenue. She's faced with a crisis because no one told her, hey, girl, you got it going on. Don't you know you can do some fashion? Do you know that outfit that you just put together? I want that. Can you make me one? And she can sew her own outfits? Come on. The hairdo that she just hooked up, she can do it to her neighbor's hair and get paid for that? Now she's a hairdresser. She's a designer. Come on now. Somebody got to pull that out of her. She's an entrepreneur. She's an inventor. She's an encourager. She's a graphic designer of somebody else's body. If we take our time and pour back into our young people like it was when I grew up, people took time out for us. They talked to us. Our parents talked to us. Our neighbors talked to us. The church talked to us. There were so many people that directed us. Our children today are losing that. They have lost it. There's no one to talk to them. A lot of programs are gone. So you know what? This is when I say it takes a village. So what if they don't have the programs? You be the program. You be the neighbor that set the kids straight that's doing wrong. Or knock on the parents' door and say, hey, you know what? Just being a concerned parent, so-and-so did this or that. Or even going into the school system and talking to the principals. Hey, you know what? I understand we got a lot of kids going to school here, but some of these kids might be interested in this or that. You think we can implement this into your program? Do I have to go to the school board to try to make some more suggestions? Some other kind of games or other kind of programs that we can implement into our school system? This is where we meet our children to get them where they at right now, to build them to who they're going to be. And that changes that crisis. And it gives the child a new identity. We can have an identity without having a crisis. And right now, we are all facing a crisis. So I want you all to think about that. Think about the crisis that we're facing today. The lack of direction, the lack of support, the lack of role models, the lack of concern in the eyes and the hearts of some people. Our young people are starting out their lives dead last. That should not be. It makes it hard for them to have hope when there's no one being hopeful. There's no one being there for them to enlighten them. It's hard. Identity crisis. It does not have to be a crisis for a person to find out their identity. We can be the tool to help build our children. You know, a part of my life when I was growing up, I had neighbors and friends and stuff to talk to me and to build me. And I had low self-esteem because all the things that had transpired in my life, that changed me. But later on down the line in my life, I learned to try to accept me for who I was. Accept me. Oh, I'm not a size 6. I don't have hair all down my back. I didn't wear the finest clothes. I didn't go to the prestige school. I didn't even finish high school. I have a GED. And I am proud to say thank you, Lord, that I completed with my GED. I don't have a PhD. I'm in college because I completed my GED. I looked at my life and said, you know what? No one is going to be greater than in my life for me than me. No one can build me but me. No one want what's best for me than me. And if I want to change my life, then I have to change it. I can no longer sit back and say, you know what, this and that happened to me in my life, and that's the reason why I'm giving up. So and so hurt me so bad, and that's the reason why I'm giving up. I cannot face tomorrow because of what happened to me years ago. I cannot keep giving up on hope and keep saying, well, you know what? It's their fault. It's the reason why I'm going through this because my mom is gone and my dad is gone and my dad hurt me. It was time out for that. I could no longer go on in my life blaming the world around me and those that were in it for the crisis that I was facing. Not knowing who I was and what I should feel about myself and my body and where I come from and what I experienced. Yeah, I was in a crisis, but I got out of it. I woke up and realized, hey, I am valuable. I am valuable in every sense of the word. And I don't have to feel less of a person because of where I come from or what I experience in life. You know what? The things I went through in life were not my fault. And the people that displayed negativity in my life does not have to change the way I feel about me. I love me. And I had to learn to love me even through all my pain. I had to learn to love me. I found out who I was. I found out first and foremost that I was loved. This body of damaged goods was still loved. God loved me. I had friends and neighbors that loved me. I had family members that loved me. I didn't turn to drugs. I didn't turn to abuse. I didn't turn to selling my body. I didn't turn to none of that. But yet and still, I still felt like there was something wrong with me, but I had to find out that, you know what, May? God loves you. And you're going to get through this. And you will find who you are. That identity crisis does not have to be a crisis. It is not the end of your world. It is the beginning to find out who you are. And I did. I found out I was a child of the Most High God. I found out I was rich and I was highly favored. I want you to do the same. I want you to find out who you are. I want you to learn to search yourself. Search your soul. Find out who you are. Not what the world call you. Not the title that somebody put on you. Not even in your job description. Look at yourself in the mirror and you say, who am I? Who am I deep down inside? I know I'm somebody's sister, or I know I'm somebody's brother, somebody's dad. But who are you? The individual. When you find out who you are, you'll love you for who you are. And then you'll find out that identity that was a crisis was not really a crisis. It was something covering that light that is deep down inside of you that wants to shine out and you're too scared to let it out. It's there. Your identity is there. So don't let no one tell you that you're less than. Don't let no one tell you that you'll never be nothing. Don't let anyone tell you that you came from nothing, so therefore you won't be nothing. All lies. All lies. You can find your identity in God. You can find your identity in your family. But most of all, you find your identity in yourself. You look deep down inside yourself and you say, you know what? That's a bigger part of me that I have not explored. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get in touch with me. I'm going to block the world out for a little while. I'm not going to listen to what I hear around me. I'm not going to listen to what I see on the television. I'm not going to read about who I am considered in society. I'm not going to look at that door and say, you know what, that door has been closed for a long time. I can't go in. No, I'm going to open that door and I'm going to go in and find out who I am. First and foremost, I want to tell you, you are loved. You are priceless. You are valuable. God loves you. He will strengthen you. He will guide you. And He will bring you to a new level in life that you have yet to see. In His word, He said, your eyes have not seen, your ears have not heard. You can't even fathom what God has for you. He says in His word, He have a plan for you to prosper you, to bring you to acceptive end, to pour into you. So you don't know what God has planned for you. But I tell you, this is a great plan. It is a great plan. It is one that will build you to another level that you didn't expect. No one knows it but Him. But someone else will know it will be you when you take time out to realize, hey, I am valuable and I am loved. So your identity does not have to be a crisis. So we can take that crisis off the inner identity and just find out who you are and take it from there. Well, I pray that this talk will help someone find their true identity, will help change the direction that you may be headed in to a positive road. I pray that the Lord will order your steps according to His word. And I pray that not any of your iniquity, any decision that you have that is wrong for you will have dominion over you, that it will not hinder you. And I pray that the door that was closed in front of you, that God opens that door and that you go through that door and find out who you are. And that God opens the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing on you that you do not have room to receive. That when He opens your ears, that you hear Him and you understand exactly what He's telling you to do and who you are. I pray that that light that is shining deep down inside of you glows so bright that everybody will see, hey, that person is valuable. That person is priceless. That person has a glow on them I've never seen before. I pray that everything that's in your heart that God has for you, that He gives you the desires of your heart. Because you are truly valuable. You are truly priceless. And don't let no devil in hell tell you you're not. And I don't care who he used to speak through. It could be your mother, your father, your aunties, your uncles, your friends, your neighbors. Don't let no devil in hell tell you that you're nothing. I know what that feels like. You're better than that. You are valuable in love. So I pray that may the Lord bless you and He keeps you and He directs you. These things I ask and I pour the blood of Jesus over your heart, mind, body, and soul. That you be blessed. And thank you for sharing this time with me. Bye-bye.